Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. And another heavyweight news and notes mashup video today, starting with some good news for Filip Hrgovic and then moving on to some not so good news for Joseph Parker and some other goodies in the video too. But Filip Hrgovic, a ray of light for the IBF final eliminator, which he's been sort of involved with for the past year, but no takers. Almost had Michael Hunter mid last year, pulled out at the purse bid stage. Now, after Joseph Parker and Luis Ortiz turned down the opportunity, Tony Yoka is going to take it. So they're going down the rankings, and Yoka has said, yep, I'm interested in taking that fight. So the Sauerland brothers, which co-promote Filip Hrgovic along with Matchroom, say, confirmed, Tony Yoka has formally accepted tonight in writing the challenge to fight Filip Hrgovic in the IBF final eliminator for the heavyweight world championship. El Animal has found a dance partner, and then the fire emoji. So Hrgovic himself reacting on social media, saying, it's on. Tony Yoka has formally accepted the challenge to fight me in an IBF final eliminator for the heavyweight world championship. Let's roll. And Yoka himself says, anyone, anytime, any place, and then some words in French, which I have translated. Apologies, do not speak the language, but he says, you know me, I've never hidden. So this is good news for Filip Hrgovic. Obviously has been looking for a dance partner for a while, and this doesn't necessarily confirm that this is 100% locked in, but it's Tony Yoka saying that he wants the fight. So they will now go to a process to negotiate the fight. So things could fall over at the stage, or if they don't actually come to a deal, then it could go to a purse bid. So all of this is going to happen quite quickly in the next week or 10 days, and then a purse bid will happen after that point if they can't come to some sort of deal. But they may come up with something in the interim, and it avoids the purse bid situation. We shall see. But this is a good fight for many reasons, because both these guys are looking for that next step up, the next opportunity to propel them to the next level. So the winner is guaranteed a world title shot. And that can't be underestimated, that, that is a guaranteed shot at some point at a belt. And the IBF does not mess around, so whoever wins this fight, if it happens, is going to get a title. And perhaps this will be the sort of fight for Filip Hrgovic, who's had some pretty mediocre opposition. It's kind of largely been the same sort of fodder in the past 2 years. This could be the fight that motivates him and gets him to step up his level. Even you can see in this photo that's on screen, Hrgovic doesn't look in tremendous shape, and he has kind of been a little bit heavier, a little bit seemingly unmotivated. But in Yoka, he's got a rival from the amateurs, someone who beat him in the Olympics, which took Yoka through to the gold medal match, which he then went on to win. So Hrgovic has got some unfinished business there. They know each other well from the amateurs, where they were peers in the amateurs for several years. So I'm looking forward to this, because obviously both are big guys. Filip Hrgovic 6'6", Tony Yoka 6'7". Filip Hrgovic, when he wants to use his boxing skills, can actually look quite slick, and early on in his career he was at times, because of the way that he fought, especially in the amateurs, compared to a little bit Vitaly Klitschko. But he's sort of gone away from that, more relying on his right hand, his power. Whereas Tony Yoka, he is a boxer puncher. He does actually move quite well for a guy his height, coordinated, got power, got skills. Both these guys have been tested just to a point. But we've got questions about both. For Yoka, is that chin really up to muster? For Filip Hrgovic, is he the real deal? Because you can only get so much out of his fights so far. For both these guys, a little unproven. But if it happens, I love it. But someone who's a little bit miffed at this is Billy Nelson, who is the trainer of Martin Bakole, having said on social media a couple of days ago, look, the fight with Tony Yoka, which was meant to happen on January 15, but then it was postponed. He had said it was going to be rescheduled for March. Saying here on social media, it seems Yoka has broke the contract to fight Martin. So Martin Bakole might be the man without a chair here. and just sort of rounding out this whole sort of saga, and it has been a bit of a saga in recent weeks. So in the IBF latest rankings, so the IBF clearly did not believe Joseph Parker when his management said, look, we can't take the fight, Joseph Parker's got sore elbows, demoting Joseph Parker to 11th spot in the rankings. So he's down 7 places. He had been at number 4 in the last iteration of the rankings. So that is a punishment for Joseph Parker. So it's a clear signal they didn't believe what he was sort of trying to spin on the, well, I've got sore elbows. But there were some media articles ahead of that excuse coming out saying that he was targeting a return to the ring in about March. So make of that what you will. David Higgins has also been pretty public and vocal about, look, there wasn't enough money in that Hrgovic fight anyway. Let's be realistic. That was the real reason. Not sore elbows. Not believing it for a second. Moving on. So Robert Helenius, and thank you to someone who sent me this on Twitter. So from Finnish media, it is reporting that Helenius is going to go into a training camp just in case he gets the Tyson Fury fight. So he says, this is the manager for Robert Helenius, Marcus Sundman, saying there have been a lot of negotiations. In this world situation with COVID, Robbie will be starting camp in February as a precaution. It has to be done. It cannot be left to chance. If there is a chance to get that match, we have the camp. There is no contract. So that's Helenius' manager, Marcus Sundman. So we'll have to see what happens, because obviously Fury's been ordered to fight Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's taken some arbitration. That doesn't start for a couple of months. Frank Warren, Bob Arum, the co-promoters for Tyson Fury, want Fury to have a fight in March. If that's not Dillian Whyte, they want someone to be there. Helenius shapes as a possible option. We'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it makes sense. If you are going to get that shot and it's going to be a 7-figure payday, you got to sort of put in these contingencies, even without the contract. Okay, so moving on, and we're going to just cover this briefly because it sort of feels like we're almost talking about this topic, kind of like the Hrgovic one ad nauseum, but Bob Arum of Dillian Whyte saying if he wants the fight, it stops messing around, he can get a good payday and prove that he is of a world-class caliber by taking on Fury. So as we know, Whyte is contesting the payday that he would get for this fight that has been ordered. WBC has the split at 80-20. He's launched some arbitration. That'll go to the Court of Arbitration for Sport in March. Maybe that fight is not next, but whenever it does happen, he obviously wants more than he is being offered. Whether it's messing around, as Bob Arum says, I guess is in the eye of the beholder, but I guess this is just sort of marking the latest comments. The American heavyweight Stephen Shaw has confirmed on social media that he's returning to the ring at the end of January, saying it's up January 29 live on ESPN in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. I'm about to put MF to sleep. Tune in. You'll don't want to miss this. And then some emojis and a whole bunch of hashtags. So Shaw, 29 years old, 15-0 at the moment, in need of a step up, a big fight. Almost got it in 2021. He was going to face Jermaine Franklin, and then Franklin pulled out because of COVID. It was never rescheduled. So we're going to have to see what happens with Shaw in 2022, but he certainly is a guy with a decent amount of talent. Moving on to Johnny Fisher, who is a ticket-selling machine. So bear in mind this card that he's going to be on February the 12th, which is going to be the Danny Jacobs and John Ryder card at the Alexandra Palace in the UK. That's about a 10,000 seat venue or so, just a touch more. And he has already sold in just a few days 1,500 tickets, and he says he could have sold more, could have sold 2,000, but working hard to get his hands on more tickets for everyone else who wants to be a part of this journey. Let's have it. So he's really building a bit of a fan base, considering obviously he's young, he's just entered the pro ranks, he really hasn't had any fights of consequence so far, but he's obviously putting in the hard yards and getting people behind him. Steve Robinson, another British prospect who's returning to the ring in February, so February the 5th on a Sky and Boxer card. So he has been working with Hughie Fury, another Sky Boxer fighter, and Cash Ali, who fights on Fight Zone at this point. No news on Ali or Hughie Fury in the next fights, but Robinson, he will be on that card for Boxer in Sky on the 5th of February. So good sparring and experience for him. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.